but it's a class action lawsuit against all machines and that they're defective devices, okay? I have lawyers worked on this for 5 months.
I still like beer, but I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
Joe Brandon, I agree.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
I am not up to the job.
Everybody comes in your grandmother. 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 He comes in. 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 He comes in your grandmother. Comes in. You 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 comes in your grandmother. Comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They come in. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in. Comes in your comes in grandmother. Yeah. So easily. So crazy. So crazy.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
You're not like some.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Above It All program. You got Max the dog here. Max, I'm talking to the television. I'm doing it again. I'm talking to the TV. Ah! It's the Above It All program experience. I gotta, blow my nose. Hold on. Oh, fuck. Oh. God damn, that's nasty. All right. Woo, this is one hell of an audio feed. Hello, users, and welcome. I'm here. I'm alive, and I'm working on living a little longer. That's the goal for today, is to live as long as I can. Max the dog is currently he's behind the scenes. He's working on this show today. He's helping me out with the audio cables. Had some audio cables. And Max the dog is currently he's working on that. So thank you, Max. I appreciate it. We got a show lined up for today. And I guess we should start with the breaking news. All right. So there's breaking news. Everybody, there's some really important news. Yesterday, and I maybe I said some things, maybe, that I didn't mean, but yesterday I alerted everyone to the fact that there was a poll going on. There was a poll going on yesterday. I don't know what Max is doing, but I alerted everyone to this poll. Now, as you can see here, I'm the winner of this poll. Now, did I expect to go from last place 9% all the way into, where am I at again? Let's say 35%. Did I expect that? Did I expect to go from 9% to 35%? No, I did not. I expected to go to 40%. So I gotta say, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed with the results of this poll. I think my audience needs to learn a thing or two about about all kinds of things, and so there you go. But anyway, thank you for voting for me in the poll. I appreciate it, and I'm gonna get drawn apparently, so that's cool. I might sound sick, but I'm not sick, I promise. So there you go. Alrighty, so how's everyone going? We got Tyler, we got Glam Girl Adel, we got Abner, we got the Letter Hack, who, needless to say, I gotta be honest, isn't it interesting that the Letter Hack is moderating these polls? Also, a known villain in the live stream, no star to be found. I'm just throwing that out there. We got Saul in the chat. We got Dion in the chat. We got Ali CIA. We got Courtney. And we got Rocky. We got Mila. And I'm ready to do a show. So I'm a little, and when I say a little, I mean I'm really fucking high right now. So, I've been going through, something this week. And I'm getting really high every day. So bear with me. I'm going to try my best to do a show here that's, that's adequate. It's an adequate show. That's what I'm going for anyway. Of course, last night I watched A New Nightmare, the 7th film in the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So if you watch that too, I'll be getting to that. Don't you worry. It's going to be great. And tonight I'm going to be watching Freddy vs. Jason. So if you want to watch Freddy vs. Jason tonight, and then we can talk about it tomorrow, that would be great. So there you go. But anyway, let's jump in. Apparently, Rashida Tlaib needs some white knighting, so I'm going to jump in. House Democrats slam Tlaib for anti-Semitic remarks on Israel. Oh boy. Oh boy. What did she say? I haven't looked into this quite too much yet. But if I'm going to guess here, I haven't read any of this. Look, my eyes are closed. I can't read. Okay. I'm going to guess Rashida Tlaib called Israel an apartheid state. That's my guess. All right, let's find out. Debbie Wasserman Schultz on Wednesday slammed Rashida Tlaib for claiming that individuals cannot be considered progressive if they support Israel. Okay, I mean, I agree so far with Rashida Tlaib. If you support Israel, not only are you not a progressive, I would go as far as to say you're a fascist. I don't know. Look at what's going on in Israel. So, in remarks at an American Muslims for Palestine event on Tuesday, Tlaib, who is Palestinian-American, spoke out against the apartheid government of Israel before vowing to push back on the idea that individuals can be progressive and pro-Israel. You just can't be. I'm sorry. Shut the fuck up about it, okay? Quote, I want you all to know that among progressives it has become very clear that you cannot claim to hold progressive values yet back Israel's apartheid government, and we will continue to push back and not accept this idea that you are progressive except for Philistine? Philistine? You mean Palestine? Like, I don't know how Philistine is. I thank you, The Hill, for some great quoting there. Tlaib said Wasserman Schultz denounced Tlaib's comments, labeling them anti-Semitic, and arguing that progressivism and support for Israel are not mutually exclusive. Well, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, a little bit of a dumbass, I'm not going to lie, stupid motherfucker. Quote, the outrageous progressive litmus test on Israel by @Rashida Tlaib is nothing short of anti-Semitic. Proud progressives to support Israel's right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state. Suggesting otherwise is shameful and dangerous. Divisive rhetoric does not lead to peace. All right, so Israel's right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state. Like, what? Like, okay, so Rashida Tlaib says, we don't like how Israel is an apartheid government and how it abuses Palestinians. Debbie Wasserman Schultz doesn't mention that at all and just says, Israel has a right to be Jewish. Okay, no one. First of all, I would actually argue that they don't have a right to be Jewish. Ethno-states are bad. So I'm just saying, I'm throwing this one out here. Maybe, I don't know. Sounds to me like something Adolf Hitler would want to do. Oh, he has a state where only these people are acceptable and anyone else is a second-class citizen that has less rights? Huh. To me, that doesn't sound progressive. I don't know. So I would go as far as to say that, no, Israel does not have a right to exist as a Jewish state. No state has a right to exist as an ethno-state. That's my opinion. But also, that's not what Rashida Tlaib was talking about. Rashida Tlaib was talking about how it's an apartheid state, which is true. It's factual. So if you want to say that, like, oh, it's not factual, there's, like, the Palestinians are savages and they're blowing up a whatever, and if you want to try to pretend like a war is both sides and it's justified, that's one thing. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz just ignored it. She just made something up. Oh, Rashida Tlaib said Israel's not allowed to be Jewish. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? She never said that. What the fuck? Anyway, dumbass motherfuckers. Tlaib and some other progressive Democrats, particularly those in the squad, including Reps Ilhan Omar, AOC, and Cori Bush, have been critical of Israel in the past, raising concerns about how Palestinians are treated in the country. On Wednesday, Axios reported that Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid would voice support for a two-state solution in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict during a speech at the UN General Assembly, which he slated to deliver Thursday. Well, I mean, okay, a two-state solution, right? That is something, but again, it's, you know, it's all about what the details are, right? If it's like, okay, we're going to have a two-state solution, that's your plot of land there. There's no grass, right? Like, it's just dead land, right? In fact, there's like a barrel of toxic waste on the land, you know, there's like maybe some skeletons are buried there. And it's also, you know, it's just like, you know, 1/10 of an acre. It's at the corner lot. And the rest is ours. That's not a really good two-state solution, right? You know, typically, a lot of the times, when Israel would try to propose these kinds of things, it would be tongue-in-cheek, and they know it's unacceptable. So, but anyway, Nadler's being cringe. Someone else is being cringe, I'm sure. Who cares? These people are fucking stupid. Anyone, and I do mean anyone that supports Israel, is a fucking moron. Israel is essentially a neo-Nazi state. It is governed like a combination between Jim Crow USA and Nazi Germany. Let's be honest. Let's look at Israel. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, right? If you go to Israel and you're in like, and if you're white, like, you know, if you go to Jim Crow, Mississippi and you're white, you might have a great time. You go there and you're black, you're not going to have a good time. You go to Israel and you're Palestinian, You don't even need to be from Palestine. Let's say you're born in America. Let's say you're a 5th generation, whatever, right? You go to Israel, you're not going to have a great time. Why? Because it's a fucked up country. So I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, there you go. That's my opinion on that. Got some hair in my face that I'm trying to get rid of. Home, you hurt my brain? Hey, Andrea, 66 power. Every film in the cinema costs €3.50. That's not bad. I'm afraid of going to the cinema, though. I don't need to get COVID, but I'm sure it's different in Italy. Anyway, so we got a show. We're doing a program today. Max fell asleep on his job. Max, you're supposed to be producing the show. What are you doing? What are you doing, Max? Look at him. He fell asleep on the job. Max, what do I pay you for? What do I pay you for? You see this? You see this goddamn dog? Max, come here. Come here, Max. It's the Max the Dog Show. Hi. All right. Max the dog, folks. I don't know what to tell you. All right. Got a show going on today. Doing a program. So, the other day, Vladimir Putin was like, all right, so we're just going to basically take over eastern Ukraine, and then we're going to call it Russia, you know, as a thought experiment. And if you attack Russia, aka East Ukraine, well, then you're attacking Russia, and then we're going to drop a nuke on your ass. That's essentially what Vladimir Putin has been saying. He also basically beefed up the conscription program in Russia. And so there's been plenty of anti-war demonstrations. Over 1,000 people have been arrested. There's plenty of videos online that you can check out of police beating the shit out of protesters. There have been some reports that people are being arrested, and then in the police station, as they're being processed, they're being conscripted into the military. So it's either you rot in a jail cell for 10 years or you go to the military, right? So anyway, let's check out this article from The Guardian. Security forces detained more than 1,300 people in Russia on Wednesday at protests denouncing mobilization, a rights group said hours after President Vladimir Putin ordered Russia's first military draft since the Second World War. The independent OVD Info Protest Monitoring Group said that according to information it had collated from 38 Russian cities, more than 1,311 people have been held by late evening. It said those figures included at least 500 in Moscow and 520 in St. Petersburg, Russia's second most populous city. Unsanctioned rallies are illegal under Russia's anti-protest laws. Isn't that interesting? You have a great country here. You know, it's illegal to protest. It's a great country. Yeah, freedom. Fuck yeah. Russian Interior Ministry official Irina Volk, in a statement quoted by Russian news agencies, said officers had cut short attempts to stage what it called small protests. Quote, in a number of regions, there were attempts to stage unauthorized actions, which brought together an extremely small number of participants. I love that. They always try to minimize it. Extremely small. Thousands in the streets, but extremely small. You know, whatever. Now, again, it's not like protesting in the U.S., right? It's not like in the U.S. you technically, now again, it doesn't really matter, and cops violate it all the time, but in the U.S., technically, you have a right to protest, right? In Russia, you don't. So anyone going out there to protest even a little bit, even if they plan to run away, even if they're like wearing like, you know, masks or facial identity software, like recognition, like counteractive, stuff like face paint and stuff, right? Like, even if they're going out there for like a little bit and they plan on running away or whatever, I mean, going out there and protesting at all. I mean, if you look at videos online, you see thousands and thousands of protesters. Now, again, not everyone is going to get arrested. Those that are arrested are just a smaller percentage. But again, I mean, that's crazy. Like, getting several thousand people protesting something when all of them know that they're breaking the law, that's one of the things about protesting in the U.S., right? Is like, you always have a lot of people that love protesting, but then like 90% of them are afraid to break the law. Like, you say, all right, we're going to, hold up traffic or whatever. And then, and then people are like, whoa, oh, we're going to stay out past curfew. And then people are like, oh, well, I don't want to, in Russia, these motherfuckers, they go out there and they're like, yeah, fuck this shit, which I respect. Quote, these were all stopped, and those persons who I don't even care about what they have to say. One-way flights out of Russia were rocketing in price and selling out fast on Wednesday after Putin ordered the immediate call-up of 300,000 reservists. Here's some photos. The Vesna opposition movement called for protests, saying thousands of Russian men, our fathers, brothers, and husbands, will be thrown into the meat grinder of the war. What will they be dying for? What will mothers and children be crying for? That's a good series of questions. But anyway, you can read the rest of this if you'd like. There's a lot going on in Russia right now. People are trying to get the fuck out of the country. People are protesting. It's not really working out. I mean, I don't know. You have to, in my estimation, my model of the universe, how I interpret the world and events that we are all, experiencing in some form or the other. I think that you have to have a really low IQ to think that Russia is doing anything at all that's like noble or good in any capacity. Like, I don't know how like these motherfucking like pro-Russia people even I don't get it. I really don't. I can't figure out like how they're able to believe that shit. I don't know. Personally, I think they're just getting paid. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious that Vladimir Putin is evil. The Russian government is evil. It's a dictatorial, authoritarian regime. It's basically a military junta when you think about it. And it's not really even a real government, to be honest. I mean, there's no real elections. They're all rigged, right? The leader has been in power for, 20, 25 years now? Is it really even a government? Not really, right? So, I don't know, man. Kind of a fucked up thing. Also, by the way, they're just deciding to commit a genocide in a neighboring country, and the rest of the world's just like, oh, okay, cool. All right. Okay. Anyway, let's see how those so-called votes go this weekend. I'm sure it's going to be great. Oh boy. Yeah, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. Hello, Rielan. I'm so beautiful. I'm okay. So, we got doing a show, actually. I'm in the middle of it. Right now, this is the Above It All show. It's 1,690. And it's a show. In my opinion, Saul, there is no left-wing pro-Putin person. It's impossible. It's like a left-wing pro-apartheid person. They don't exist. But anyway, let's talk about some big news here. There is now a civil suit, to my understanding, against Donald Trump and his family. The New York Attorney General, Letitia James, did a press conference yesterday. I'm going to be reading the Twitter thread version of it because this is a little bit easier for me to digest at this moment. But basically, if you go watch the press conference, she just laid out all the crimes that the Trump family has committed in pretty decent detail. And then ended off with, and this is just the beginning, which is great, And then basically said that she is hoping that she can just destroy the Trump corporations. It's seeming that she's going for barring any of the Trumpers from doing business in New York for at least 5 years. That's the goal, as well as dismantling the corporations, which is good. That's great. Finally, fucking Donald Trump, after decades of rule breaking and law breaking, someone is like, oh shit, this guy's been stealing billions of dollars from the government for years. Should we do something? And then finally this bitch is like, okay, I shouldn't call her this bitch. I would say that with all due respect. And so that's great. I mean, this is like, again, Letitia James, again, like being the first one, because it's always about the first one that do something like this, right? It's always about like, you get the ball rolling, and then other people will feel more comfortable going after them in other areas, which there needs to be criminal charges. Donald Trump needs to go to jail. That's the ultimate goal here. But this is a great start. Our suit against Donald Trump and the Trump org alleges a years-long financial fraud scheme. Here's how Trump generated false and misleading values on his annual financial statements, which were then used to pay lower taxes, guarantee loans, and get better insurance rates. Using objectively false numbers to calculate property values. For example, Trump's apartment in Trump Tower is 10,996 square feet. Yet he said it was 30,000 square feet to value it at $327 million. A New York City apartment had never sold for that much. So he just 3x. Oh yeah, I got 30,000 square feet. Really? Can I see it? Nope. Oh, okay. Ignoring legal restrictions on properties. At Trump Park Avenue, he valued 12 rent-stabilized units at market rate, inflating the value by 65 times. At Mar-a-Lago, he ignored development restrictions to claim the property was worth $739 million. Its value is about $75 million. That one is crazy. That one is crazy. So the real value, 75. Donald Trump's value, 10x, 739. That's 10 times. That's like 9.8 times. This motherfucker's just like, whatever. 75 million, 750 million, 7 billion. What's the difference? Using schemes to increase the values of his golf clubs. One such scheme was to add an inflated 15 to 30% Trump brand premium, but then claim that a brand premium was not included on his financial statements. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? Claiming he had cash available to him that he did not. For several years, Trump reported money in a partnership as liquid cash. In truth, he was a minority owner with no control of the money. Using fraudulent values to inflate net worth and gain benefits. Oh, inflating net worth. Interesting. Trump's annual financial statements included fraudulent values and were used for his own financial gain. For example, he saved about $150 million by receiving favorable interest rates based on the statement. So, again, you lie about your net worth, you go to a bank, and they're like, oh, okay, Mr. Trump, they give you about a bunch of money that you don't have to pay income tax on, right? So you pay taxes at a lower rate to get all this money, and then you can use it to buy another building. And again, it's just like you just keep going. You just keep going until someone stops you. And in Donald Trump's case, no one stopped him. He just kept going, and then he became president. Like, if someone would have put the foot down 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they all knew he was breaking the law the whole time. But if someone would have done something about it, we wouldn't have had to deal with this garbage for the last couple of years, right? So, think about that shit. Actions have consequences, along with referring the criminal violations we uncovered to the U.S. Department of Justice. My office is seeking to ban Donald Trump Jr., Jr., Ivanka, and Eric from serving as officer or director in any New York business. Ban Trump and the Trump org from acquiring real estate in New York for 5 years. Force Trump to pay $250 million in profits made from this fraud. Now, again, does Trump have $250 million? Install a monitor to oversee the Trump org's financial dealings for at least 10 years. Bar Trump and the Trump org from applying for loans from any financial institution chartered in New York for 5 years. As Attorney General of New York, I made a promise to ensure the rule of law applies equally to everyone, even a former president. No one is above the law. So it's about goddamn fucking time. Now, the thing I should say is it is very clear that there are people above the law, Donald Trump being one of them. But if the tides are turning on this, I'm all in. So again, Donald Trump, is this the first domino to fall? Or is he going to get out of this? We'll find out on the next episode of Will the Orange Man take any accountability for his actions? Daniel Johnson, I'm so sick of living in the era of Trump. Been fucking 7 straight years since he's taken over the conversation. I agree. But think about this, Daniel. The day that Trump actually kicks it, that's going to be, I mean, hey, I'm just letting you know. Like, as long as you outlive Donald Trump, it's all going to be worth it in the end. Trust me. Like, watching how this movie ends, it's going to be really great. Oh.
So let me ask you this.
All right, so we got a clip here. Donald Trump talking about the FBI raid. So Donald Trump has been trying to defend himself with this FBI raid stuff. And in doing so, he's kind of like developed, or people in his orbit, like the right-wing machine, has been developing all these weird conspiracies. Like, oh, he declassified the documents by thinking about it. Yeah, he just had a thought one time, maybe I'll declassify these, and then boom, like magic or whatever. It was, right, okay, that doesn't happen. And also, a president cannot unilaterally declassify things without approval processing. Anyway, a president can unilaterally propose that things get declassified and go through an approval process where it has to be on the books, right? He did not do that. So anyway, then there's like the FBI raid planted the evidence, and then there's all these other conspiracies. So Donald Trump was doing a Fox News interview with Sean Hannity, I believe, and it gets a little weird. It gets a little fucking weird. Okay, let's watch
this question.
Let me boost this volume.
Because I think this is the next logical question. Because the president of the United States, you, unlike, say, Hillary Clinton in her case, right, a president has the power to declassify.
Correct.
Okay. You had said on Truth Social a number of times you did declassify. I
did declassify, yes.
Okay. Is there a process? What was your process to declassify?
There doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. You know, there's different.
So again, the key words, as I understand it. Right, again, you can unilaterally propose any document be declassified and people are likely to go along with it, but there's a process. You have to say, hey, this document, fucking folder 17, page 13, section A, whatever, this one, I think this one should be declassified. Then you send it to people, they look at it, they're like, oh, all right, whatever, right? He didn't do that. I need you to understand, he did not do that. But it gets worse. Check this out.
And people say different things, but as I understand, there doesn't have to be. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
Donald Trump has telekinesis now, motherfucker. Now, I just want to say this. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. He's a loser. He will always be a loser. But this motherfucker, even thinking about it, let's play that again. Classify
just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it, because you're sending it to Mar-a-Lago or to wherever you're sending it. And there doesn't have to be a process. There can be a process, but there doesn't have to be. You're the president. You make that decision. So when you send it, it's declassified. I declassified everything. Now, I declassified things, and we were having a lot of problems with NARA. NARA is a radical left group of people running that thing. And when you send documents over there, I would say there's a very good chance that a lot of those documents will never be seen again. There's also a lot of speculation because of what they did, the severity of the FBI coming and raiding Mar-a-Lago, Were they looking for the Hillary Clinton emails that were deleted, but they are around someplace?
So, okay, wait. I just got to pause it here. So the National Archives is a, quote, radical left organization? My friend, you were president for 4 years. Why didn't you de-radicalize the left out of the National Archives? But okay, whatever. So it's the National Archives is a radical left organization. They took the documents and then they sold them? They got rid of them? What? Who is more likely to mishandle classified information? This guy or the United States National Records Administration? What? Like,
were they looking for the spying
you're not
on
saying
Trump's?
you had it.
No, they may be saying, they may have thought that it was in there.
Okay.
And a lot of people said the only thing that would give the kind of severity that they showed by actually coming in and raiding with many, many people is the Hillary Clinton deal, the Russia stuff, or, I mean, there are a number of things, the spying on Trump's campaign. So they spied on my campaign.
I love this, the spying on Trump's campaign. No, wait, they spied on my campaign. Like he's so used to like seeing, like the way his brain works, in my presumption, is that he's so used to seeing these like little snippets of talking points. They spied on Trump's campaign. Oh wait, I'm Trump. I mean, they spied on my campaign. I'm Trump. Right? Like, this motherfucker, man. Okay, so I'm going to diagnose Donald Trump and the Orange Man. I'm going to diagnose this guy with schizophrenia, dementia, and dumbass disease. Now, again, those are not things that typically correlate. You can be schizophrenic and not have the dumbass disease. In this case, the Orange Man has both. It's very severe. But again, this is just like a greatest hits. Like, he's just going out like and saying, okay, so Hillary's emails, Russia, Russia and the Hillary, and then they raided me. A lot of guys raided me, the FBI, but there were many FBI. And then the National Archives and Records Administration is a left-wing administration or agency, whatever it is. You know, it's a left wing. It's and I'm orange, and like what? Like this motherfucker, man. Like he is losing it. He is losing it, and you know, we'll see what happens. But he's losing it. I don't know what to say. This guy, holy shit. So we got some more dumbass motherfuckers. This is the stupid fucking Republicans portion of the show, where we talk about stupid fucking Republicans and how fucking stupid they are. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about David Rubin again. And so he's got an idea, a proposal for the state of Florida. He wants there to be a closed border around the state of Florida. Now, Florida has open borders, if you didn't know this. Open borders with Georgia, for example, right? You can just walk in. He wants to close the border and have a toll, an entry tax for anyone to enter Florida. Anyway, let's check out this titan of logic and his reasoning here.
I've told DeSantis. I honestly, he's laughed when I've said it, but I would be for Florida having an entry.
I love the idea that Ron DeSantis has like a personal line with Dave Rubin. Like they talk, you know, they have dinner, you know. Yeah, I was talking to Ron at a dinner party the other day. Like I love that idea. That Ron DeSantis and Dave Rubin are buddies. That's a movie. Make a movie out of that.
Free tax at this point. Now knowing that,
that's right,
because I didn't move there to save money. I'm saving a lot of money, obviously, but it was not that. It was everything else.
Yes,
it was freedom, truly.
Trust me, bro. It wasn't the millions of dollars I would save. It was the freedom, bro. Trust me. The freedom. I didn't move there so that, you know, I could pocket millions of dollars of right-wing fucking cash money. No. It's about the freedom, my friends. The freedom.
But the idea that all these people come, and I think people are really coming and realizing what they fled. So when I'm walking my dog in my neighborhood and people come up to me and, oh, you're new, you guys live over there. I always say, number one, I just want you to know I am here to keep Florida, because they say, where are you from?
First of all, like the idea that this conversation, like someone sees a new neighbor and they're immediately like, where are you from? Are you coming here to destroy us? I mean, that's so, like, that tracks though with like conservatives, right? Like I love the idea that conservatives see a new neighbor. It's not, oh, new friend, let's go say hi. And it's like, where did they come from? Oh, they're from California. Oh, they're gay from California. They're gonna destroy our way of life. So like Dave Rubin is like getting on his knees. I'm not gonna do.
And when I say Cali, they freak out.
They hate it.
And they should freak out. It's like having a zombie infestation.
Well, it's because the people leave California and then they still vote the same. That's why.
But I think that's
Austin
changing.
is basically super liberal and blue now. Austin super.
Like, I don't know who this guy is, but this guy like wins the. Like, this is like the smartest motherfucker on any podcast ever. So people like move and then their politics don't change immediately based on their geography. And it's like, that's why Austin is like liberal, man. And it's like, okay. I don't know, man. Like, imagine moving from like, I don't know, somewhere to like, a Republican state. And you're like, well, I guess I'm a Republican now. Like, you live in fucking goddamn, like, New York or something, and you're, like, a hardcore liberal. You move up to Maine, and now you're like, well, goddamn trickle-down economics is starting to make a lot more sense ever since I moved in. Like, what? All right, let's keep going.
Austin has a huge problem that is spreading throughout Texas. Florida, to me, is the truly safe one at the moment.
Agreed.
Texas will be okay, and Beto's a freak. And
yeah, Texas will be fine.
They just have to, like, get some cobwebs cleaned up or something. But
So anyway, Florida entry tax, and apparently, again, in this is revealed that apparently Dave Rubin and Ron DeSantis have personal like phone calls and conversations, right? So that's hilarious. That's hilarious. And let's be honest, if people had to pay to go into Florida, I think Florida would see a lot less people going in there, but maybe that's what they want. But when you factor in a lot of Florida's economy is based on tourism, hey, I don't know. Just throwing that out there. When your economy is reliant on, like, Disney, I don't know. Maybe you should want people to come in and go check out Disney World, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, there you go. All right, y'all. While we're on the subject of Texas, hello, Yidis. I like your channel. Hey, pretty lady. Thank you, thank you. All right. So, Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott, governors of Florida and Texas, have been engaging in a little bit of casual, part-time human trafficking. And so what they've been doing is illegally lying and kidnapping people that are applying into the legal. Now, again, I need you to understand this, right? You go to any comment section for any one of these asylum videos or migrant videos, and you're going to have people, illegals, you got to go to the border, illegals, there's so many illegal aliens, you don't like illegal. Right? These are legal migrants. I need you to understand that. Legal migrants. They are following the law, right? So anyway, and they're being human trafficked by the governors of these states. So here we have a very interesting, like, I don't even know, like, this one is just baffling to me. Operatives linked to DeSantis promised to fly migrants to Delaware, but then left them stranded. What? A black luxury SUV with tinted windows pulled into a parking space along the side of a drab two-story La Quinta motel planted on the northwestern edge of 12 lanes of a highway that loop around downtown San Antonio. Thank you for the creative writing, by the way. A woman with straight, light-colored hair got out of the rented Infiniti. She took the outdoor stairs, walked onto the far end and knocked on their doors to rooms 243 and 41, where a group of Venezuelan asylum seekers had spent 5 anxious days waiting. She brought them food and a message. They were being sent to Delaware. The bus to the airport would be leaving at 5 a.m. the next day, Tuesday, Sept 20, she said, according to interviews with 6 migrants housed at the hotel. They're going to go to Delaware. What's in Delaware? Joe Biden's house. The migrants didn't know they were being swept up in an operation that bore striking similarities to one organized the week before by operatives for Governor Ron DeSantis that ended with 48 Venezuelan migrants dropped off at a Massachusetts island. Or the trip to Delaware being dangled would never happen. What? What? They also didn't know that an anonymous source close to DeSantis would suggest to NBC News that a planned charter flight from San Antonio to Delaware that was destined for an airport not far from President Joe Biden's summer home, according to flight records, and dominated cable news on Tuesday, was canceled without explanation and then used to, quote, punk journalists and Democrats and keep the spotlight on immigration? Okay, here's an idea for you. You want to punk the world and the country and say, oh, we were going to do this flight and then we didn't. You know what you should do in that instance? Not have people waiting in a hotel room. That's what you shouldn't be doing. You don't need to have people. If your plan is to punk them and to make a joke out of it and it's a trolling expedition, you don't need to have actual asylum seekers on the sidelines. Why do you need that? That's just a waste of resources, man. We're talking about money here. We're talking about efficiency. So anyway, it's a joke. But there's actual, like, migrants chilling in a hotel room waiting for that bus. What? Ultimately, the migrants interviewed by Herald were the butt of the joke. They thought they were going somewhere 5 days before she knocked on the door of their motel rooms. The woman, who never told them her name, had recruited the migrants to join a secret operation to transport asylum seekers out of Texas. She had approached them outside of San Antonio's Migrant Resource Center and said she worked for an organization that she did not name. She offered clandestine flights to places that she said could not be disclosed until the last minute, but she promised that the destination cities had more resources to help the men who had just crossed the border after a perilous months-long journey through Panamanian jungle up through Central America and eventually across the U.S.-Mexico border to Texas towns struggling to accommodate the thousands of people coming in. Quote, she said there would be work. She said there would be that they would get us there, and then there would be help, said one of the migrants, Pedro Escalona, who had trekked to San Antonio from Venezuela. His asylum hearing was scheduled to take place next month in Washington, D.C., and he was hoping at least to get part of the way there. Mostly, he said, he just wanted to move forward. The flight to Delaware was his best chance. There would be no flight. The migrants were told the next morning it had been canceled. No reason was given. I don't even know what to tell you, man. This is some crazy shit. This is crazy shit. I need you to understand how crazy this is. Escalona and around 20 others were stranded with nothing. The week before, contract... Now again, they just wasted 6 days of their life. They could have spent the last 6 days getting where they needed to go. Someone needs to go to Washington. I don't know. They could find a way to get a bus ticket to Washington. 6 days. That's a lot of time to travel. Instead, they got holed up in a hotel room, wasted their fucking time. Now they got a hearing in a couple days. How the fuck are they going to get there? Oh, boy. Anyway. So, there you go. Things are going really well in this country. Very strange. I don't know. They're spending millions and millions of dollars on this. I need you to understand that. Millions of dollars on nothing. Millions of dollars on nothing. They're spending millions of dollars. What are they spending on? Nothing. They're throwing it away. They could be spending that shit on fixing the potholes improving our water quality, etc. Instead, they're throwing it into a fucking volcano. What? What? Motherfuckers are crazy. We live in a crazy ass fucking world. DeSantis Hispanic? I don't think so. Unless he's just like a really white one. I don't know. I've never heard that anywhere. All right, y'all. I want to end the news portion of the show with a very complicated scenario. So before we start, I want to show you a photograph. This is a photograph of a very good boy, or at least someone that was a very good boy until they were enslaved and forced to do harm and evil upon people. But this is a very good boy that is similar to my good boy, which you can see getting on the couch. Hi, Max. He's a very good boy. And MPD, the Washington, D.C. Police Department, regrets to announce the passing of K9 Rocket, a longtime explosives detection dog assigned to our Special Operations Division. So what happened to this good boy? Well, they got abused by police for who knows how long. Right? So a year, 2 years, who knows, 3 years. A lifetime of torture and abuse that ends, let's click this. The Metropolitan Police Department regrets to announce the passing of K9 Rocket. The Metropolitan Police Department regrets to announce the passing of K9 Rocket, a long-time explosives detection dog assigned to our Special Operations Division. The 7-year-old Malinois Shepherd was found deceased by his handler inside of a marked MPD K9 vehicle on a late Monday morning. The vehicle was parked, secured, and idling in the 2800 block of New York Avenue Northeast. This tragic incident is currently under investigation to determine the circumstances that led up to this dog's death. They left the dog in the car, it got hot, and the dog died. Now, I just want to let you know on something. If you kill or attempt to kill or attempt to injure a police animal, you will be charged with attacking a cop. So, there are people that have been bitten by police dogs and have tried to like punch the dog or get them off of them, right? And then they're charged with assaulting a police officer. There are examples of people going to prison for dozens of years for, quote, assaulting a police officer because they tried to get a dog who's biting them off of them. Right, so factor that into this. Meanwhile, this dog, in this instance, Rocket, the dog, was left in a hot car and brutally murdered after 7 years of torture and abuse. Now, are there going to be charges? Is this quote-unquote K9 handler going to get sent to prison for 10 years for killing a police officer? They killed a police officer. If you were to shoot a police dog, you would go to jail for life. You'd kill a police officer. They killed the police dog. So clearly somebody is going to go to jail for life, right? Anyway, if anyone wants to keep up with this one, just one last look. Again, becoming a police dog is torture. It's abuse, right? They are taught not to love humans, but to hate humans. And to treat humans as enemies. It's abuse. So, goddamn. And just another reason why cops are garbage. You know, you want to know why cops are garbage? Well, I got 17 trillion news articles to share with you as to why cops are fucking garbage. And, Max, what do you have to say about this? Max? What do you have to say? He doesn't have to say much. All right, so we're going to be getting into the movie review portion of today's program, talking about A New Nightmare. Tonight, I will be watching Freddy vs. Jason, if anyone wants to watch along and show up for tomorrow morning. But before we slide into that, Q-Cock. Questions, comments, or concerns. Q-Cock. So if you got a Q-Cock for me, let me know. And post your Qs, post your cocks, and hopefully y'all enjoyed the program. I don't know what happened to this wax in this candle. It's all fucked up. This wick, this candle, I got ripped off on this shit. This wick is not lighting. Alright, there we go. I got fucking ripped off on this grocery store candle, y'all. God damn it. The goddamn grocery store candle. Fucked with me hard. Cops are parasites. At least garbage might have been useful at one point. I agree. I agree with that. I burnt my finger a little bit because I'm stupid. Am I planning any live events or meetups in the next year? I can't answer that question. I don't know. It depends on COVID. It depends on vaccines. It depends on location. I've been planning, like, as far, you know, like background planning, like what I want to do. I've been planning something for since 2020. I mean, really. So, it's just a matter of when. Did hello users come from Twitch? When you click this, it says users in chat. No, it did not come from Twitch. It come from the fact that people are internet users and they use the internet. Let's drink some coffee here. What scent? This is Evening Fireside Glow. You know, there were two options at the grocery store. There was like Midnight Starry Night. What? How does it smell like midnight? I don't know. And then Evening Fireside Glow. So I picked one that was like, you know, something tangible. Anyway, y'all, we're moving in back at the Spook 6 Kilar with our 7th movie review. That's a week of these or something, right? 7? Anyway, we are back with Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. And so, again, I have a lot to say about this movie because this movie is so interesting. I love the metagame. I love how it plays with the metagame so much. But again, this takes place after 6 A Nightmare on Elm Street films. So you got the first movie, written, directed by Wes Craven. Then you got the third movie where Wes Craven, Dream Warriors, where Wes Craven was, you know, he was like, he co-wrote the script or something, but he didn't really direct it or anything. And then you've got Heather, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, who plays, is it Heather or Linda? I don't know. Who's Linda? I don't know. I think it's Heather. Anyway, she plays Nancy from part 1 and part 3 of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And so they all play themselves, right,
in the universe where the movies are just movies. They play themselves, right? So Heather is Heather, Wes Craven is Wes Craven, Robert Englund is Robert Englund, and they play themselves, right? And they play themselves after the movie franchise is over. So the movies end. There's no more movies, right? Part 6 happens. Freddy's dead. But then there's like an evil entity that's secretly been forcing Wes Craven to make more movies, or not even forcing Wes Craven, but, you know, forcing Wes Craven to make a new movie because the evil entity liked being Freddy from the movies or something. I don't even know. But this movie is phenomenal. I mean, it's a wonderful, like, reboot to the series. I mean, seriously, we're talking about, like, there's such a meta game. I love that shit. I love when, like, the fourth wall breaks. I love when actors play themselves. You know, it's like the Seinfeld reunion and Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? It's just, like, really good stuff. It's great content. But anyway, the movie itself is great. I like Freddy's got a trench coat now in this movie. That's cool. And, you know, like the kid that, like, this is one of those movies where there's like an evil kid, kind of like The Omen or something. They went for the evil kid thing. That's usually not, like, in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, they kind of did like a little kid thing, but like usually kids are not part of, you know, there's like late teens and adults that are the people in these movies. But then there's an evil kid who's being controlled by Freddy again. And, you know, that's Heather's kid, the actress, who played Nancy in the original. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is near the end, where the actor who played Nancy's father in the first and third movie, I forget his name, but he is with Heather as they're trying to figure something out. And then, like, all of a sudden, their, like, clothing changes to, like, the stuff they were wearing in the first movie. And then all of a sudden, the house behind Heather turns into the house from the movie. And it's just like, that's a great scene. I mean, this is a great movie. You know? Like, this is a great movie. I love the original 6 films of A Nightmare on Elm Street. I love that they got goofy. I love the goofiness of them. But as far as, like, a horror movie, this is, I think, the most horrifying of the A Nightmare on Elm Streets. I don't remember. I haven't really seen the remake, so the remake may be... But as far as horror, as far as, like, I'm getting scared, right? This one was probably the most scary, I think. And it was still a little goofy, right? Like, the Freddy is still a little goofy, still calls people bitch, you know, it's still goofy. But it's just, I don't know, the vibe in this movie, they changed the vibe quite a bit, and it works. Like, it just works really well. You got, like, Robert Englund, who plays himself. I also think he played Freddy. I don't know, maybe someone else played Freddy, but Freddy looked a little different, more like, more waxy, more like prosthetic-y, than makeup-y. But anyway, and he had a trench coat, which I enjoyed. But the deaths in this movie were pretty good. I mean, I would say that the deaths in this movie overall were a little underwhelming. Because, like, the husband dies, right? Who else dies in this movie? I don't even remember. Like, a couple, the babysitter dies. That was a good scene where Freddy is fucking, like, dragging her corpse on the ceiling and shit. That was a crazy scene. Goddamn. I mean, this is a good movie. I don't know. Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. That's the name of the movie, by the way. Like, I was on HBO and I was like, I know this fucking shit's on here. Is it in the A category? Is it in the N category? New Nightmare? No, it's in the W category because the movie is called Wes Craven's New Nightmare. A New Nightmare. Or is it New Nightmare or A New Nightmare? I don't even know. Anyway, it's a good ass movie. I don't know. This may be, in my opinion, the best of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think this one might be the best. As far as horror, as far as, like, holy shit, I'm scared, right? The vibes in this movie, top notch, right? And it's still a little goofy, right? Like, Freddy does his, like, extendo arm thing at one point in the movie, and it's great. But it's just, like, this is a great movie. I mean, again, the 7th movie in the franchise, and the twist is just, you know, again, all the 6 movies are movies, but there's an evil entity that exists outside the movies. It's just a great concept. It's a great film. But you gotta watch them in order, right? Like, if you jump in to New Nightmare and, like, you haven't seen any other ones, you're still gonna like it. I would say this one is very easy to jump into, but it's so much better when you've seen all 6 of the originals. It's especially 1 and 3 because there's references to 1 and 3 more explicitly because the main actress was one of them from 1 and 3, right? So there's, it's just a good movie. It's just really good. I love that they have the script. It's like the Muppet movie, at the in the Muppet movie where the Electric Mayhem have the screenplay, right? At the end of this movie, Heather is reading the script of the movie, but she's in the movie, but it's real life, but she's reading the script of the movie. She has the script in her hand, and then she's like scrolling through the pages, and that's just it's just the script from the movie. So they have the script from the movie, but she's in real life, but she's in a movie. Is she acting? Is she acting in real life? Is the script like based on real life? Was she who knows? What the fuck? That ending. I love the ending in this movie. I mean, you gotta watch it if you haven't seen it. This is a great film. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, man. I mean, it's just great. It's a great movie. I don't even know what to say. It's a great movie. I also love like the washed up actress thing. How everyone keeps asking her, oh, the films. Oh, you're famous. Or are you the one who did those? And she's like, yeah, I only did like 1 and 3. I was like, like when I did A Nightmare on Elm Street, I didn't know it would become a franchise, because she's in the first one. Right, so, you don't know it's going to become a franchise. How the fuck are you going to know that? You think it's like some random one-off cheese fest, and then, a couple years later, like, you're not even really in the sequels. Like, you're in one of the sequels, but a couple years later, you're famous because every time a sequel comes out, people go back and watch the original, right? So, that's interesting. It's a good dynamic. And it's just a great movie. I don't know what to say. This is a great movie. It's a great entry into the franchise. I'm glad that, again, they could have kept going for a third trilogy. But I love the idea that they decided to go completely out of the box with this one. And it's a really good movie. I don't really even know what to say. And once again, I will be watching Freddy vs. Jason tonight. Freddy vs. Jason, of course, is the 7th movie canonically in the original series. So, Freddy's Dead being 6, Freddy vs. Jason being 7, this one being like, it's like if you have a flow chart, we're going to need a fucking flow chart for these. If you have a flow chart, right, so from Freddy 6, right, Nightmare on Elm Street 6, right, then you go to New Nightmare, that's one branch pathway, and then you go to Freddy vs. Jason, right, but then also, is it a third pathway to A Nightmare on Elm Street, or is that its own timeline? Right, who knows? I haven't watched the remake. I don't know if it's like a remake or if it's like a reboot. I don't know how it works. I haven't seen it. But anyway, A New Nightmare. I mean, it's phenomenal. I don't know what to say. I love this movie. I love all of these movies. This is my favorite of the slasher series, in my opinion. So, I think it's great. But if you're not watching these, I know there's some people that are not watching any of these movies and they're just listening to me talking about them every day, and that's great. That's fine. But I highly recommend you go watch these movies. Do a marathon. Watch them all in one day, and then in between the movies, watch my reviews or something. Like, that could be fun. But again, they're great. They're great movies. I love them, and they're great. I don't know what to say. The Dream World stuff, the Dream World in this movie was really well done. Right, the Dream Worlds in all of them are really well done, but this one was a little bit more nightmarish. Like the other ones are nightmares too, but they're like the more goofy kind of nightmare style, so, but this one is like a little bit more grounded and gritty with the nightmares, especially with the kid having nightmares that are like a little bit more like childlike. But yeah, I don't know. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, it's good. Check it out. So anyway, that's the show for today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the program. Yesterday I did a 2-hour program, so today I'm what is it, 70-minute program? Sounds cooler if I say 70-minute. Like 1 hour, 10-minute, 70 minutes, I mean, that's a lot of minutes. 70 minutes, that's a fuckload. But hello Bella and hello Sandy. Howdy. And yeah. So there you go. That's the show. Max the dog says hello. Max. Very confused. Anyway, I may be doing a Twitch stream later. I haven't been doing any recently. because, well, you know, I have my own reasons. I don't need to tell you. But anyway, if you want to follow me on Twitch, that would be cool. I will be starting the video game component of the Spooktacular very soon. Very soon. In fact, probably I would say next week. I will start the video game component of the Spooktacular. I can't tell you right now which game I will be starting with, but I will be telling you it will be a game that if you like horror games, you've probably played it. And so, you know, there you go. That's all I'll say. Thanks for the Andrea family. I will be going back to view any Cooking with the Bitch I missed. I didn't upload one this week yet because I'm a piece of garbage, and editing is you know, it's a longer episode, this one, to edit, and I haven't done it yet. I'm lazy. So I'm lazy, and I've got a bunch of other things that I'm doing, so it's like, you know, it's partially my fault, partially not my fault. Anyway, that's the show. That's the show. All right. Bye-bye.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ. Restore honor to our government. In my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.